All right, now we're gonna move on. That was Rod. Now we're gonna move on to Russ.
Okay.
First, last name, age, occupation, and where you live.
Russ Pendergraft. I'm 40. Turned the big 4-0. Actually, I haven't. In July, I'll be 40. I'm still the same age as Rod. And I got less gray. I have 3 kids. My son's going to be 16 in June. My daughters are 14. They're twins. Whole nother story. Don't get me started there. Boys are really a lot easier than girls, I will tell you that. I live in Cassville, and I own Visions of Wildlife Taxidermy Studio here in town. Which one of my wives would you like me to tell you about? I only have one.
Good show right there.
Yeah, sister wives or something like that. No, I have one wife. Her name's Jennifer. She's a teacher here in town at the local school. We've been married for 16, almost 17 years. What was your next question? I don't even remember what your next question was.
Well, we have established that you were married with kids, so.
I'm Al Bundy. I'm a modern day Al Bundy.
How long have you known Joe?
Gosh, I've known Joe at least half my life. So probably 20 years. I mean, I was right out of high school and I went to the military, so I really didn't know him for that long before I left the first time, but off and on for 20 years. And since they moved back here this time, I mean, probably since the week you came back to town, we've had contact about every day since then.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's not hunting or going out with Kate and you hunting too, then it's
car related.
Yeah, we're fixing a motor in his car and working on that, or working on my car or something. So it's either hunting or cars.
How did you first meet him?
Wow. Well, that had to have been at the old archery shop. It was one of the first times I'd ever been down there. But like I said, again, I probably didn't meet him a handful of times before I left for the military. So I would probably say through Sparkman was the first guy that brought me down there.
Yeah, Gammon would probably bring you down there to the shop.
Yep.
Would be Gammon Sparkman.
What sort of things do you like to do with Joe?
Well, we like to take long walks. No, I'm kidding. We like to take long trips to places like Atlanta, Georgia, actually further than Atlanta, Georgia for cars, and sit in traffic and tell stories to each other because the traffic isn't moving for hours at a time.
Then lose the video too.
Yeah, you would be watching that video too if my camera wasn't a piece of crap.
Yeah, the camera booted out.
Really,
It's all Russ's fault.
taking the kids out to hunt, to shoot, working on cars, going to cruise-ins, just checking out cars. I mean, it's a lot of car stuff with us. As much as we like to hunt and fish and shoot bows and stuff like that, we've had just as much fun turning wrenches and talking about cars too.
Yeah.
What sort of things do you like to do without Joe?
That's a hard one to top because these guys took it all up.
You don't like to sleep with him.
Yeah, let's establish what Larry said. I like to sleep without him. Because when I'm around him, there's nobody gets any sleep. But, I mean, I do pretty much the same stuff when I'm without Joe that I am with Joe. If it's not about my kids and cars and hunting, then I'm asleep. Really.
I'm sure your wife appreciates that.
She does. It keeps me out of her hair.
So tell us what the last thing was you guys did together.
We went to Atlanta,
To
Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Yeah.
We left on a Friday night and thought we'd be back Saturday afternoon. Boy, were we wrong. If it wasn't from running out of gas on the interstate to seeing if we could beat the GPS this time, which by the way you can't because it automatically updates. That
We
was-
did.
that was a
You're
really
right.
fun trip.
We couldn't beat the GPS time.
We had a lot of epiphanies on that trip. But that was the last adventure we took, and that was just a week or two ago.
So do you want to tell a funny story about him, or?
We have to keep this PG.
Oh no, Travis.
Actually, yes. I got the story. I kind of told her about, he tried to kill me.
Yeah.
You got that on the other video,
Yeah.
so there's my funny story. I was here for that. It really did happen.
Oh yeah, you were here when that lady come in and
This
hollered
lady
that
came in
stuff
the
out.
front door and right after a guy that was coming in as a customer and started hollering, he tried to kill me, like a Vietnamese lady or something. And we were like, what's she talking about? Thought somebody was chasing her into the store. No, she was chasing a guy that pulled out in front of her. And she said he tried to kill her. Joe had to ask her to leave. She picked up a boot and was going to throw it at him. Really, there used to be the boot sitting right there, and she picked it up and was going to chuck it.
I don't know why they're gone.
I saw those stories.
I know, you weren't here for that neither.
Because you work. It's because you work.
I took the lady, I said, well, how'd you get here? I drove my car. And I said, well, show me your car so I can get her outside. And we get outside, I said, where's your car at? She goes, that's my car. I said, oh, good. Get in it, drive down to the sheriff's department and tell him your story. And so she left. That's the only way I could think of getting her out of here.
Surprised you didn't call me.
Yeah, I could have called Travis. Say, Travis, come down here and help.
I got a crazy lady. All right.
And
We're going to move on to Travis. First, last name, age, occupation, where you live.
You already told them my name.
Okay, tell him the last name.
Gilbert.
Okay, his name is Travis Hilbert.
There you go.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
you're a liar.
All right. I'm 40.
Okay.
40 years old. I'm an amateur gynecologist.
Working on your pro card.
I am. No, that's probably the only thing I don't do. But by profession, I'm a state trooper and firefighter and alcohol expert, drug recognition expert, crash reconstructionist, and I'm in the Army. And I used to be in the Marines. And I like to work on cars. I cut logs. How much more stuff you want to know?
Whatever.
How do you ever have time to be with Joe?
Where do you live?
Up road.
Okay, he lives in Cassville. Are you married and do you have kids?
Last I checked.
Former or latter?
Oh. My wife's having a party. I got 1 confirmed kill, 3 unconfirmed. The unconfirmed are stepkids. And they live all over the place. Got 3 grandkids now and a half.
And a pig.
I don't got no pig.
You don't have a pig?
No, I
No, they gave up
You
party.
ate him?
His baby became sewage
He
waste.
goes, no, I ate him. How long have you known Joe?
since 1991.
Okay. How'd you meet him?
Well, I went into his bow shop downtown with an old junky bow, and before I left, I'd spent $600.
Good story.
You remember that part real well.
That's one thing we all four have in common.
I didn't think of it, yeah.
I think I spent a little more than $600.
Well, that's just what I spent that day. I can't say nothing about
That was in 1991, Rod. Inflation.
Oh, God.
What sort of things do you like to do with Joe?
We go boating a little bit. Oh, I ain't supposed to talk about that anymore.
I've seen the pictures.
Okay, fine. We don't go boating. We go fishing.
In the boat.
My wives don't fish though.
They suntan.
They do suntan.
They suntan and sunbathe.
Yeah, they like to climb on rocks.
What sort of things you like to do without Joe?
Well, I like to go boating.
You like to sleep.
Oh, my
And
God.
in my spare time, when I'm not doing one of the other 13 things I mentioned, I ride that motorcycle outside Little Dab.
Hold on, we're going to show you his motorcycle.
Oh, you don't want to.
You're going to go outside.
This is Travis's bike. Oh, and this is Russ's car they were talking about. God damn it, let me in! They locked me out. They thought they were smart.
She locked herself out.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, God.
You can work a camera, but not a door lock.
Let me tell you the funny story about the time Lacey went outside to take pictures of the motorcycle. Locked herself out.
I'm blonde, what can I say? What was the last thing you guys did together?
Talk.
Went boating.
Went boating.
Went boating.
All right, I guess that's gonna wrap it up.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Anybody else come?
People are talking.
Are the hamburgers
Well,
done?
you can turn it off and then you
Larry
can
wants
turn it
food.
up again.
Larry was promising